Hey everyone, this is my first YouTube movie review, and why not do it with my second favorite, arguably my favorite movie of the year, Obsession. Obviously, a lot of you know what Obsession is and how big of a cultural phenomenon it's been, but for those who don't know, Obsession is a horror film directed by YouTuber Curry Barker, which is about this man who makes a wish that backfires in horrific ways. I'm gonna get this straight out. I adore this film. I love it. There's so many positives, but I wanted to narrow it to specifically 4 to 5 that makes the film for me. First of all, I believe each actor's performance was great throughout the film. However, the standout of the film was obviously Indy Navarrete. Her performance was super creepy, weird, and it made me uncomfortable. My favorite scenes were from the diner scene, where she screams the infamous no no scene, making a lot of disturbance within the restaurant, as well as the ending, specifically where she vomits in Bear and then tells him, "Do you love me?" All that. Pretty much paraphrasing right there. However, Indy's performance made me believe that there were two different people existing within her body. I'll get more into that later. The film literally would not work without her amazing performance. Another positive I have is that the film has a refreshing take on the classic monkey paw story, as well as the shy guy liking the girl story. While these stories aren't new per se, obviously, Obsession combines both of them into this slow build up horror film that heightens the suspense, dread, as well as horror. After Bear's wish, Nikki, Indy Navarrete's character, for those who don't know, slowly does unusual actions that eventually lead to horrific events. Each event shocked me, as it would for anyone, not only because of Nikki's actions, but also how Bear responds to them, because Bear's actions are insanely terrifying, which brings me to the next point, that Bear is such a unique character for all the wrong reasons. While many people at a glance believe Nikki is Obsession and, the name of the fucking film is because of her, it's actually Bear who's obsessed. At the beginning of the film, Bear is this relatable guy who has a crush on a girl, but can't express it, as well as afraid of telling the truth. However, as the film continues, Bear becomes irredeemable and commits horrible acts, almost as bad as possessed Nikki, if not a little bit worse, ignoring real Nikki's plead, having sex with her without consent, as well as indirectly killing his coworkers and friends. Bear's overall a flawed character and becomes the film's real villain, which I like, because in other films I feel like they will paint Nikki as the actual villain. However, this film has more layers than other typical films would. Lastly, Curry Barker leaves up certain scenes to interpretation, such as whether Nikki liked them. Certain clues are laid out, obviously, such as Nikki saying ill to Bear when being mentioned as a boyfriend, or her and Ian, Bear's best male friend, hooking up with Nikki every now and then. However, some people mention that when Nikki asked Bear if he liked her, there was a hint of interest in her voice. I don't see it, to be honest. Another interpret scene worth mentioning is whether a demon possessed Nikki, which I do believe that's the case. I love how Obsession has this rewatch value because of these interpretation scenes, that you're able to pick up all these clues per rewatch. Overall, these interpret scenes just fuel further discussion that keeps the film relevant, even to right now. As for negatives, I really don't have that many negatives for the film. I think that the film should have had more clear rules about the One Wish Willow, but this is more of a nitpick. It's not a deterrent to me actually loving this film. There was this one scene where Bear was on Reddit trying to see if the One Wish Willow actually worked, and saw mixed posts saying that it did work or it didn't for multiple people. I don't. Maybe Bear's wish worked because it was made out of pure malice, bad intentions, bad vibes, which could have brought a demon. Another form of interpretation. Overall, I'll give this film a 9.5 out of 10. Such an amazing film. If you're a fan of horror, obviously go watch it in theaters if you still can, or if not, stream it. And if you're not a big fan of horror, at least you have to watch it once and form an opinion for yourself. Thank you guys.